Yo, what's good? It's Skano. In a world full of noise, those that master silence are kings and queens. People will engage you in verbal conflict. Maybe you anticipate an argument. It's brewing, it's on the horizon. You've already, formulated your points down to a T. Very salient points. Oh, they gonna hit home. Nothing but facts. There's no winning this argument for your opponent. So you engage, and the more you talk, with every point you make, you feel weaker. You feel like your voice is just getting dimmer. It don't matter that you're speaking straight facts. You're rebuttaling everything, that your verbal verbal opponent is throwing at you. With each rebuttal, with each point that you make, you feel weaker. You know why silence is the strongest weapon? Because when somebody is trying to engage you in an argument and you just shut it down, see, people have been conditioned to think that if you the loudest, if you got the best comebacks, if you have the durability, in other words, you just out-talk people, that you win in arguments, that gives you some position of power. But sometimes, actually, more often than not, just not saying anything in response. It's the strongest reply. We all understand that silence is powerful, you know. So, you've heard the saying, silence speaks volumes. And I found it to be the most effective way to shut down, It, of course, will piss them off. It's definitely going to piss them off because the more they talk, the more their voice just sounds stupid to them. When you let somebody and they think they are winning, maybe they even think in their mind that they are winning the argument. They're gaining some type of strength over you because you have just chosen to not respond. Because human instinct, you want to respond when somebody is lashing out, maybe mischaracterizing you, falsely accusing you, gaslighting you, whatever it may be. They want you to respond. That gives them energy to keep going. It doesn't even matter if what they're saying has any truth to it. And that's why truth will never win out over, Because like I said, the more you rebuttal, doesn't matter if it's straight facts. Your strength is lost in the process of you over explaining shit. I learned very quickly that silence, it irks people, man, on a level that when you just shut it down, you know, for one, they begin to wonder what you own. When you stop responding, when you stop people and you just go silent mode, they trying to figure out what you own, what you thinking, what's going on in your head, what your next move is going to be. So a person who is the aggressor actually ends up being the one that's, shook when you give them that silent treatment. It'll piss them off. It'll irk them. They'll call you immature, you know, different types of tactics and ways to make you re-engage. But that silence is strength in that silence. It's power in a non-response. Like inaction sometimes is the most powerful action. Because you let them people just gas themselves up and they will stumble over their own words. And like I said, at some point they will start to, the sound of their own voice, they will become aware of it. They the only ones talking, and their words become weak and pointless. And at some point they will shut up because they become cognizant of that power shift to you. It will remain with you. So I learned that, even when you respond with facts even, you still giving them validation by responding. You make a point, and that's all that need to be said. I don't need to prove my point. We don't need to engage in a verbal, battle for my truths my truths are going to remain. I don't need to convince you. I didn't make this channel for validation. I don't care about the views, the likes. I appreciate the people who, come across the channel and they gain something from it, but I don't do this for people's validation. If I did, I'd be in another lane, speaking my truths, take it or leave it. Care about what people think, But trying to convince people, you've already lost. You've already defeated you've taken your own strength when you try to, especially when they already know the truth. Because the truth, you don't need to argue truth. When people argue, it's to win an argument and gain a position of power. Whether it's your woman, I don't care who it is. It's about power. It's about control. It's not about truth. That's what an argument is. A debate is, a discussion of ideas. An argument is a verbal battle. I'm not with that, because who wins a verbal? I can shut you down with a verbal battle, but I still end up losing. In those occasions, when I let it go, and I, verbally just destroy somebody, I've always found that even winning arguments gave me no satisfaction. You know what I'm saying? And I begin to realize that it's that silence that every time. That silence, So, like I said before, man, you don't have to win every battle. You don't have to fight every battle. You know what I'm saying? And when people try to engage you, And what they trying to do is draw from your energy, sap your energy, drain your energy, and a back and forth. But shut them down with silence and watch how they wiggle like a worm on a hook. They are uncomfortable, unsettled. You know, they will implode in on themselves. Nobody want to argue. People don't want to argue, you know, with someone who does not engage. You know what I'm saying? They need the back and forth. So when you take that away, you take away any type of strength they have. And stop giving people your strength to validate a point. Your silence is a strong enough point in and of itself. 216 Scano, you already know.